Adventurers, welcome to season 3 of Happy Trail Backpacking. We are here at Upper Sioux Agency State Park. First of all, welcome to Happy Trail Backpacking. If you're new here and you like outdoors, hiking, backpacking, any kind of adventure, exploration, wilderness exploration, hit that subscribe button. I come out with a new video every Monday, usually at a different location. Today, we are at Upper Sioux Agency State Park, Minnesota. It is about 2 hours and 15 minutes west of the Twin Cities, and it's a special place. It is about negative 20 degrees right now. The wind chill is about negative 30. It is extremely cold. I am well bundled up though, ready to go. And it is quiet, and I am the only one here. This here is the Minnesota River running through right here. Now the reason I chose this park, it's a pretty big historical significance. I actually had a different place planned for today, but I had to go ahead and bump it and come here instead. Because this land here used to belong to the Dakota Sioux Indians, Native Americans that lived in the area. And in 1851, the United States signed a treaty with the Dakota Indians, giving them this land, a whole section of land between Big Stone Lake all the way down to Redwood Falls. In the treaty, the United States was gonna supply them with food, and about 9 years, I think it was 8 years later, in 1860s, the relationship descended into the United States-Dakota War in 1863, I believe it was. And when the war broke out, the United States reneged on their deal, taking back all this land, as well as not providing food like we said we would, and many Native Americans starved to death as a result. So the reason why I chose to come here all of a sudden is because in about 2 weeks, in February, they're giving this land back to the Sioux Indians, and will no longer be available for public access. Not really sure why all of a sudden they decided to give it back, but that's probably a good thing, huh? Probably the right thing to do. It is like the wind chill is about -30 out right now. I think it said -27 when I got out of the car. I think my eyes keep tearing up and I think they're freezing. But stay tuned. A little bit later I'll go over some of the things that I'm wearing and how I keep warm. This is just some absolutely gorgeous prairie land. Just beautiful. Man, I tell you, the Native Americans know how to pick a spot. Everywhere that I've gone, that was either like a Native American historical site or just where there was known to be Native Americans in the area. They're always the most gorgeous spots. It's really hard to see now because it's a little later in the day, but it's so cold out that the water vapor in the air is freezing in the ice crystals, giving the sun a rainbow halo around it. It's quite beautiful, but the sun's a little too bright at this point, so you can't really see it. But as the sun was rising on the way here, I'll throw in a couple shots of it. It was actually amazing. Some beaver activity. This little spower is cutting down some trees. Keeping the prairie alive. All right, folks. Been about 1.5 miles along this river here, Minnesota River, and all the way down to the end where the trail turns in away from the river. But I decided I'm gonna head back to the car from here instead of doing the loop, just because it's really cold and the camera equipment and stuff is failing. So I'm gonna start heading back to the car. All right, folks, I'm back at the car. I'm gonna go over quick what I'm wearing, what I got on me to keep me warm. So, first thing I got is these gloves. They're very cheap gloves, and I'll put links in the description for most of this stuff if I can find it. I have these are cheap gloves I found on Amazon. Really nothing special. They have the little tabs so I can push my phone and stuff. They're very warm. They're surprisingly warm for like $10 gloves I found on Amazon. Over that, these are like 40 years old. I'm not going to be able to find a link for these. They're like 40-year-old deerskin gloves. I think they were my dad's. I've had them for years. They are impervious to cold weather. Your hands will sweat inside of these if you leave them in there too long. Those are my gloves. I got on just a regular stocking cap, nothing special. I got an Telluride. Underneath here, the trick is to have many layers. So all the way down here, I got my regular hiking t-shirt on. It's moisture wicking, so it'll pull moisture away from me. This shirt here is like a thermal, it's like a thermal shirt for cold weather. This is a Patagonia, a micro puff hoodie. So I like to use this hood. It's really nice. It zips up all the way to my nose. And then this is new. I just got this. I found this on Amazon as well. It's just a water resistant windbreaker shell, but it also has a little bit of fleece on the inside, so it adds a little bit of extra warmth to it. Let me angle the camera down a little bit. Here I have they're just Columbia snow pants. I've had these for probably 20 years too. I don't know if they still make them or not. But yeah, have those on. And then underneath I have my regular hiking pants, my convertible pants. And then under those I have some thermal tights on. Down here, I don't know if you can see this. I'm using Kalula gaiters. I think that's what they're called, Kalula. They're just gaiters. You can get those. I think they're like 40 bucks for a pair of those. They're awesome. I like those. And no snow gets in my shoe. It kind of keeps that that cuff area from opening up, so you never get a draft. That is my main tip on keeping warm, is to keep your layers tucked into each other and not to let any drafts go up. If you notice here, well, I've kind of untucked it now, but I have my shirt, my t-shirt tucked into my pants. I have my thermal shirt tucked into my pants, and then I have my jacket over my snow pants. So it's kind of like a inside-outside layering, so that if I bend over or something, my back isn't gonna get exposed and get cold, or like a draft is gonna go up my back. Same thing with my socks. I have my pants tucked into my socks, and then my snow pants are over my socks. So there's kind of that layering system there. So I'm not gonna get any drafts going up my legs. That's huge when it comes to staying warm. Another thing is my my neck gaiter here. It's literally just a little tube that I can pull up over my nose. My nose and my mouth get cold. But if I leave it on too long, then it gets moisture build up in there. So I kind of leave it down unless I can feel my cheeks or my nose getting really cold. Just a testament of how cold it is out here. This water is frozen just in the time that I've been out here. Probably about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. But this water's half frozen. It's got ice chunks in it. Anyway, thanks for coming with me. Glad we made it on this extremely cold journey. And I'm glad we got here to see Upper Sioux Agency State Park before it closes for good. Thanks for coming with me on Happy Trail Backpacking, and I'll see you guys next week. I have just left Sioux Agency State Park, and look at this. It's a pretty cool sight. This is called Skybecken County Park. There's some rustic campsites here, right on the river. It's a nice place. So the state park's going to be closing down, but you can still do some rustic camping here, which is right next to it. But yeah, look how cold it is. The river is smoking. I believe this is the Minnesota River. The Yellow River has just emptied into it and joined up with it. Gorgeous.